Chunty.
Yes, the moaning lady intros yet again. I'm Uncle Chunt, your host on CHUNTCAST, talking head from down under, budding comic book creator and man in the middle. Those of you who follow Let's Talk Games will understand that reference. But before we get to moving along, if you want to join the Chunt Corps, with the subscribe button down below and follow me on my socials, be a part of something. We harness the power of serenity in the endless battle against turmoil across the omniverse. Yes, and to further explain on what the Chunt Corps is, it's something that I created just to give a name to the people that actually follow what I do and interact and want to be, you know, within my scape. Just create a little group that people can be a part of and talk in my Discord as well. So it's a bit of fun. And I went ahead and took the liberty before we get into the topics, which are going to be like the Games of Gold stuff for February and the Xbox Live Gold price increase and then subsequent reverse and what that might mean. And there's a Superman Lois trailer that came out that I want to have a look at with you as well. So before we get onto that, I'll explain what the Chunt Corps thing is. Last week I just ran the idea thinking it might be a bit of fun, and a few people were like, yeah, that does sound like a bit of fun, you should do that. It's like, all right, cool. So I did. So I went ahead and my creative brain went in a bit overdrive, and I might have went over the top with it, but I like it. It's a bit of fun. There's a logo there. There's the powers and the weaknesses, and you know, if you become a Chunt Corps member, you know, taken from the Green Lantern lore, like if you're a Lantern member, you get particular powers and weaknesses and abilities and strengths and whatnot. And there's an oath, so I made an oath as well, which I will read for the first time on this channel. So the history behind this is, I'm pretty chill. I like to keep things pretty on the level, relaxed. I don't like to be put out of my way much where possible in a lot of ways throughout my daily life. And I'm trying to think, like, what's the way that I can come across a group or make something and explain it, but have fun with it. That's me and like-minded people that just want to chill and just have a place or a group where it's kind of the same. Like, it's just all like on the level. You don't want to be moved too much. No drama, all that kind of crap. So I made this, and where do I start with this? I'll just go on the brief description here of the Chunt Corps members. True to their power, they prefer to do their own thing, usually working in small teams, if not alone, which is true for me. I like my own space. I like to do things on my own speed, under my own volition, you could say. And if I have to, I like to just keep the group small, you know, tight circle. Keep your friends like a close-knit circle of friends, but don't be afraid to be a part of something bigger. That's kind of what that means. Actually, I don't think we'll go through the actual oath first, so you can actually see what the Chunt Corps logo is. And I made an emblem for it, you know, similar to the Green Lanterns as well. And this is what it is. This is what I came up with. So that's a logo. If you look at that, I took that from the Sinestro Corps. I got inspired from that, where Sinestro, he was a Green Lantern and made his own Yellow Lantern team, and he has his own logo. It's called the Sinestro Corps. And I was like, well, I'm not going to name something else other than me, like Chunt Corps. So took it from that, and the logo's in the style of Sinestro Corps, and I think that turned out really cool. But this is the oath. It says everything, but basically everything to do with serenity, and that's the power, right? The power of the Chunt Corps is we harness the power of serenity to keep things, you know, real, just relaxed and chilled and laid back. But should we be pushed, look out. You know, that's the opposite side of it, which I'll go into the strengths in a moment. But for the oath, so for those of you who don't know, Green Lanterns, when they need to charge their ring or have a battle cry, they have a Green Lantern oath, which is similar to this. But for us, this is what this is, should you choose to be a part of this. In placid day, in peaceful night, our solace treasured, unmoved our light. For those who seek to disturb the right, pacify and soothe, serenity's might. I think that's pretty cool. Forever alone. Look, I've had sex before, but I probably won't ever again after this. So if you want to be in that group, forever alone, you'll never be alone in this group. So yeah, I did run this past a few people and they loved it. So I'm pretty happy with it. I was going to put it out there anyway, but it's good to know that other people had a bit of a laugh at it. And this is what it's meant to be. It's not meant to be serious. I just want to have a bit of fun with this. You know, times are dark and tough, and I'm trying to make something here on the channel that it's just lighthearted and fun, and just to be part of something, you know, and see if it gets fostered. But you can join the Discord group as well. There's a link in the description below should you want to join, and just talk amongst yourselves. There's general chat, and there's a different bunch of topics and whatnot that you can get involved with. So yeah, the powers, all the same powers as the other lanterns. You know, the light constructs, the flight, hard light constructs, force field, space travel, all that kind of stuff. It's all the typical stuff. But the strengths and weaknesses. So the weaknesses will be depending on the experience of the lantern, right? Members can be more susceptible than the other core, like the green lanterns, the blue lanterns, the red lanterns, all that, to this particular weakness. So Chunt core members are more susceptible to lose focus if overwhelmed by substantial volumes of disruption. Which means, like, for those of us who just want to keep things chill and we hate drama, we don't like to be overwhelmed with crap, you know, we try and shut all that stuff out. If we do get overwhelmed by so much stuff, you know, we lose our focus a bit. And I think that's a pretty fair kind of descriptor of me. Like, if I can only be so chill, right? And life can only be so upside down. And when it gets upside down, I can get overwhelmed real quick. But then that leads me back into my strengths as well, which the strengths, the Chunt core members, their fighting style is mostly defensive, which I don't retaliate unless I'm really pressed to. The more pressed they are in combat, the more likely they'll bide their time and power, waiting for an opening to unleash the final blow. Which is true. Like in the past, when I've been in fights or arguments, I'll give 3 warnings, and after the third one, look out. You know, like I don't start many fights, but I'll sure end them, and that's what that kind of means. I don't like to fight, but when I do, I'll make sure I'll be the end of that. So that's what I mean when it leads into that weakness, strengths. Like, the weakness is you can get overwhelmed, but if you get backed into a corner, you've got no other options, then just look out. You know, you'll just push your way through whatever's happening. And that's true to life. Like, when I have problems in life, I'll get to a point where I've got nowhere else to turn besides straight through the thing. And that's what that means. When green lanterns or any other lanterns, when a ring seeks out a suitable candidate or ring bearer, the ring, it's sentient, right? So when it finds someone, it'll greet them and say a little quote. So like the green lantern's ring will appear before someone and say, you know, you possess the ability to overcome great fear. Great fear. Welcome to the Green Lantern Corps, you know. And then you put it on the ring and get the powers and all that stuff. But this one, I just want to keep it simple. You have a need for serenity, which I do. I need it, man. I'd like my peace and quiet. You have a need for serenity. Welcome to the Chunt Corps. And then you get your powers and abilities in the suit. So I haven't gone as far as designing like a suit, or the Green Lantern and all the other Lantern Corps have an entity that powers the actual power batteries that they have. I haven't designed that thing yet, but you can guarantee it's going to be something lazy, like, I don't know, a sloth or a Snorlax looking thing. That's the kind of angle I'm going for. But yeah, that's the oath, that's the logo. Yeah, let me know how you feel about that. I reckon that's cool. Like, I had a pretty creative run around with this thing. So I'm pretty happy with it. It got my creative juices flowing. I was able to, you know, design a logo and write up the powers and all that kind of stuff. And I'm actually drawing up a suit kind of design. Blue, it has to be blue because that's all my branding stuff, and I like blue. It's just a very cooling color, so it all kind of works. you know, if none of this interests you, I don't care. I'm going to be putting it in. That's my new thing. Take it or leave it. So yeah, if you want to be a part of the Chunt Call, subscribe now. Forever be alone, but be alone with many. that should be the tagline to the group. Anyway, so that's the end of that. And then moving on, just another drop of a promo for this calendar that I'm doing artwork for. I'm being a part of that, as well as 18 other artists and a bunch of others submitting stuff for it as well. It's going to be a pretty good thing. Once I know more about it, there's a Kickstarter happening for it. This isn't me. I'm not getting anything for it. You know, I'm not getting monetary gain. It's just I was invited to be a part of this calendar, and I was more than happy to do so. So just be aware of that. I might just throw some info in the description as well, and I do share it on my socials as well. So if it's something you're interested in, it's a bunch of Aussie creators. It's all Aussie stuff, Aussie made, Aussie artists. I'm really kind of gunning for more Aussie stuff just in general. So if you're interested in that, keep watching every week, and if I have updates, I'll let it hear. Just like Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, like they've got a Kickstarter out for the second game, and I back that as well, because I not only do I enjoy the games, but it's just good to see an Aussie studio like that kind of still hanging around and putting it back out there again. So supporting Aussie is a thing that I really want to do. So get going on that. Yeah, so moving on. Finally, to the first topic. Games with Gold for February. Pretty cool, man. This is going to lead into the big issue that happened over the weekend, which I'll touch on just after this. This will lead into it. So I'm not going to waste your time too much, bouncing between too many topics. This is going to be one longish topic before we just round it out with a bit of fluffy stuff with Superman at the end. So Games of Gold for February. This is pretty good. This is the first time that I remember that there's 5 games for free for the month. I don't remember that ever happening before. And they're all good, man. Like Resident Evil Remake, the first one. I've always kind of been interested in giving that a try. Now I'll get it for free through Games with Gold. Dandara, Trials of Fear. I don't know what that is. But they've got a little write-up here from Xbox just saying what all these are. Experience one of gaming's most acclaimed sagas in Gears 5, which are given away for free. It's on Game Pass as well, but I mean, I own it like 4 times. I don't know. I'll if the option is there to play it, I've got it. And now, yeah, so I recommend giving that a go, because it's a very good campaign. Survive Against the Living Dead, in the horror thriller title that started it all with Resident Evil, and that's the remake. It's not the original game. So it's upgraded graphics. I think it's the one that was made for GameCube or something, or they remade it for last gen. It's not like Resident Evil 2 and Resident Evil 3 remake. It's not that kind of massive production, but it looks infinitely better than the original games did. So give that a look at. Experience this gorgeous and imaginative world of Salt in the action-adventure platformer Dandara Trials of Fear Edition. Don't know what that is. If it sounds interesting to you, check it out. Then we got the backwards compatibility stuff, Indiana Jones and the Emperor's Tomb. That's obviously on the heels of the announcement of Bethesda's Indiana Jones game coming out, which that game that they're offering now, that was the exclusive game way back in the day. That was a Xbox exclusive, timed exclusive. It came out on PC and PS2 some months after that, but this is a good touchstone after that previous announcement. So get excited about that. Apparently it's not too bad. Like, it's dated as hell, but apparently it's not too bad. And then that last one there, Lost Planet 2. Return to the troubled world of Eden 3 in the action shooter Lost Planet 2. Lost Planet 1 I never finished. I never got used to the controls, and it just kicked my ass after the first boss. But I'm keen to get through that. That's one of the Xbox exclusive games on 360 that I never got through, and it's always been on my want list to do. So now I'm gonna have the second one for free. Cool. I was already hunting it for a physical copy anyway, so I can give it a go. And if I like it, I can grab the physical. The third game, don't even talk to me about it. But yeah, so those are the games that are on offer this month, and this is pretty cool. This is a really good set. Like, Gold gets a lot of crap for being just not that great in recent months, because, you know, the whole argument of like, oh, they're focusing their resources on Game Pass, which is probably true. But, you know, these games are still free. I know PlayStation, their games have been better in recent months, and there's been a lot of months that Gold announcements have come out, and the internet's just like, what? Like, even for me, I don't redeem everything, because even though they're free, I don't redeem it, because I'll either forget about them, or I just know I'm not going to play them, you know, if they're just games that I'm not interested in. But I'll probably redeem all of those. Dandara, no idea. I'll probably check out a trailer or something. But all of those I'm going to redeem. So very, very good. So my money's worth for Xbox Live Gold. So, yeah, we're going to run into this topic now. Yeah, I just brought up the wrong slide there for a second. About Game Pass Ultimate, right? So Game Pass Ultimate has been the big thing for Xbox in the last handful of years. The Netflix of gaming angle, you know, that's what it is now. So what happened over the weekend? They did a brief release saying that we're increasing the price of Xbox Live Gold subscriptions. So for those that are unaware, there are two concurrent subscription models going. There's Xbox Live Gold, which is just your games with gold stuff, your multiplayer online, and gold discounts for like store discounts and stuff for being a member. And that's basically it, right? And it used to be a lot more, but it's been simplified over time. But since Game Pass has come out, the question is, why are these things still existing side by side? Like, one's more expensive than the other. Like, I've got a rundown of, I've got it on screen here, I think. I've got a tab ready for it when I get to it. But anyway, so basically, I'm shooting off the hip here, so just bear with me. Xbox Live Gold price, they increase it to double for a 6-month and a 12-month contract or subscription model. You could buy, used to be able to buy 12-month options, and that was at a discount, because for each package there was a discounted price, so 1 month, 3 month, 6 month, and 12 month. Last year they got rid of the 12-month option, and that kind of bent people's noses out, because a lot of people just like to buy it annually rather than multiple times a year. Understandably, right? Because, you know, you can save up for the year, or just, you know, on the whim, just go, yeah, I'll just renew it now, and then you can forget it for a year. And people are like, well, now that's not there, and if I want to buy a year's worth, with the announcement that they did on the weekend of, if I want a year, I have to buy a 6-month subscription twice with no discount, so you're essentially paying for double. And that was the whole argument that exploded over the weekend, which is understandable, right? And it backfired massively. You know, like, why remove the 12-month option? And it's obvious. You can get 12-month subscriptions for a Game Pass Ultimate. They're just slowly phasing out Game Pass Gold. God, they really need to get rid of this shit. They're slowly phasing out Xbox Live Gold. I've had Game Pass Ultimate since launch, like 3 years ago, or however long it's been around for, and I've never looked back. So I've never been without it, and I've just been paying monthly. It's $15 a month. What the hell? I think I've got the rundown here. Let's just bring it up. I'm all over the shop with my notes here. So Gold. What do you get in Gold for Aussie dollars? $11 a month, if that's what you're doing, right? Or you can get $38 for 3 months, etc., etc. You get 2 to 4 free games every month, and you save up to 50 to 75% in the Xbox store when they do deals or specials, right, on digital games, add-ons, DLC, and whatnot. You can play online multiplayer games, and I've got the same part on the Xbox store and in the Microsoft store. Okay, so I made 2 notes here. So the 50 and 75% on games, add-ons, and more in the Microsoft store. So you get a fair bit of discount there going for the gold. But Game Pass Ultimate has gold included in it, right? So why would you pay for 2 separate things? And you can see why they're starting to phase gold out. And it's been in talks for ages, behind the rumor mills and everything, that this is going to be happening. So Game Pass, you get all the benefits of Live Gold, right? In your Game Pass subscription as well, all that. And you get all the games on Game Pass, over 100 games, 200 games, whatever it is now. all the Xbox exclusives, the day and date when they launch, they can just download for free like you would watch a Netflix movie. Up to 20% off games in the Xbox Game Pass library, plus up to 10% off related game add-ons and consumables. So if there's a game that's in Game Pass and it starts to phase out to input more games into it, like Netflix does with its movies where they rotate the roster, if there's a game that's about to leave and you like it and you want to keep playing it, because you won't, as soon as it leaves Game Pass and that's how you've been playing it, you won't be able to play it anymore. So that's why they give you up to 20% off the purchase. So say there's you get an email or a notification on your Microsoft Xbox inbox. Sometimes you get notified, or on your app saying, oh, these games are leaving. And you're like, oh, one of those games are the ones I've been playing. Well, maybe now's the time you pay for it and you get a discount off it. I think that's pretty cool. If you've been playing it for months or a year, some of them have been on there for 3 years now. So if you've been playing them for a year or so, or a few months, and it's about to roll out, and you go, yeah, I want to keep that around, and you're going to get a discount for it. Really, really good. So anyway, so that's the difference between the two subscriptions, all right? Just so you know. And they're both separate. But like me, if you were a gold Xbox Live Gold subscription person and you upgraded to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, it just overwrites Gold, and you've only got the one subscription, so you're not going to get stuck paying for two. But you have a lot of people out there that buy the prepaid stuff. So you go out and buy the 3 month, 6 month, 12-month prepaid cards for Game Pass or Gold. Those will roll in, but you have to subscribe properly. Or I'm not sure how it works on the actual Game Pass prepaid cards. I don't know how it works if they work in tandem, but I couldn't be bothered dealing with that shit, so I just upgraded my plan, just to month, because I'm not paying. It's $15 a month, right, for Game Pass Ultimate. That's not bad considering with the Ultimate Pass you get all that shit I just mentioned, and you get Game Pass for PC, and you get Game Pass streaming like to your mobile device and all that stuff. Like you get all of this in one $15 package, and I mean I use it. Like I use my console streaming to my Razer Kishi here. I've got the beta version of Game Pass streaming in Australia here. I've got the beta of that on my account, so I can use the Game Pass games mobile wherever I want to be, and it's all rolled into this one relatively small bundle package of $15 a month. Okay, so why was there an outrage on the weekend? Now that we've gone through all that, the difference in particulars as to what the differences are, and I kind of touched on it earlier, the outrage was last year they cancelled the 12-month renewal for Xbox Live Gold. All right, and now you've got people starting to come up at the end of their 12 months, and then Xbox is like, all right, we're removing the option now to re-up your subscriptions, and we're going to increase the price for Xbox Live Gold overall anyway. So it was like an extra $2, $5, or $10 or something, depending on the tier that you're on for 1, 3, or 6 months. So then people are like, what? So if I want to get an annual pass again, I've got to buy 2 6-month packages, which is like $120 or something. That's not fair. It used to be at a discounted price, which is, fair enough. That's a pretty, I agree with that kind of knee-jerk, holy crap, reaction about it. And I would be all up in that as well. But like I mentioned, I'm not really affected by this because I have Game Pass Ultimate, which is, I guess it works out to be a bit more every year because I'm paying it monthly. But, besides the point, everyone lost their shit. And it backfired. Everybody ran with it. All the accounts, all the channels, all the drama stuff just exploded. And I was like, oh god, here we are. Of all times where you've had so much consumer-centric focus and goodwill that's been built over the last few years, and it doesn't take much. People are fickle, man. It doesn't take much for people to forget all that. As soon as you make a mistake, they'll just forget it. And I'll just bring up just something different to look at. This is us. This is a representation of us that Xbox have on their store. The varied people playing varied games on their catalog. So all these people that you can see here, they're mighty cranky on the internet. and like with the current pandemic that we've got on at the moment, and the economic shit that's going on now, everyone is like, what a bad time to increase your prices and do this to us. You know, but they responded, right? So everybody lost their shit. The drama channels had a field day. They got all their clicks, they got all their ad revenue. You know, without waiting to see what the response was going to be, everybody just dogpiled. Probably a good thing in this instance though, because we'll break it down a little bit. So Xbox have been listening to their players and their fans for a number of years now, and that's why we have the Series X and the Series S, and we've got the Game Pass, we've got cloud streaming. You know, we've got game cloud saves aren't, and haven't been for a long time, locked behind a paywall. Like all this kind of stuff, everything that you could ever want, Xbox is doing now, right? And it's been great. It's been fantastic. Like they bought all these studios. Every argument that people have about why Xbox sucks is they've been getting rid of it one by one, and they've been doing it, man. And now it's just this one mistake that they've made, and everybody for a day just cut sick. So what do we have now? I was going to come on here yesterday and give my voice on it, but I was like, no, I did CHUNTCAST last Sunday. Let me just wait till Sunday and see if there's any news after that, or see if they have a response, because usually they do within a couple of days. And lo and behold, like under 24 hours, like within 12 hours, I think Xbox were like, yep, our bad. I think I've got a bit of a quote here. So this was taken from Xbox Twitter account, saying, yep, today was not great. We always try to do our best for you, and today we missed the mark. This is typical PR stuff, but whatever. We hear you. I hate that. And we're reversing our Xbox Live Gold pricing updates to bring Xbox Live more in line with how we see the player at the center of their experience. We'll be removing gold requirements for free-to-play games as well. That's a very good thing to note, because that's been a gripe for the last couple of years, because Xbox is one of the last bastions of locking free-to-play games behind a paywall. PlayStation doesn't do it. I don't know about Nintendo, but PC, they've never had to pay for online for so long. We're starting work on that immediately, and we'll have updates in the coming months. And Phil Spencer replied, can't remember the account now, but he just says, apologies for the angst and emotion this caused today for our customers. As always, we appreciate the feedback. This is a good learning opportunity for us, and we'll learn from it. And they've been using that a lot in recent years, and you know, more power to them. That's one thing I've liked about since Phil Spencer's come on board. He's always one to just be like, yep. And Aaron Greenberg as well. Both of them are just like, yeah, no, we screwed up. No worries, we hear you. Let's try and fix that, you know. And it's good. Like most Sony, I don't think, not to put the I don't have my Xbox cap on, but you can see all the Xbox shit in my room, and those that know me. But not to go there. But Sony wouldn't back down. Sony, they would just double down on this shit. Like when they increased their game prices in America to $70 American, and everybody was like, oh crap, oh that's gonna hurt. But then you see a lot of the Sony loyalists like, yeah, no, it's about time I think we paid more for our games. You know, just eating that and drinking that shit up. Whereas people on Xbox, like they've been given so much good shit for a pretty low cost for so long now, with Game Pass Ultimate and the new consoles being just actually, you know, more powerful in specs compared to the competition. Like we're used to having the best, basically, you know, not to be entitled in that kind of aspect, but the Xbox has this air about them of like they want to be the best, they want to have the best thing out there, they want to have the best offers out there, and the best thing for consumers, and that's what they've been doing. But Sony on the other side, they don't speak. They don't roll back things. They don't really give the features that people ask for. They raise their pricing now, and they don't have something like Game Pass. So there was this whole back and forth thing online with this shit between both parties. And I turned my phone off for most of that kind of stuff. I just didn't want to get involved, and I wanted to wait for... This is the response that I was hoping for. And I didn't expect them to give the free-to-play games... free-to-play option, the how they've had that gated behind a paywall. I didn't expect that. And what does that mean? So what does all this mean, right? So I've been ranting on about this situation. Hopefully you followed it. But Xbox have had this mandate of making things accessible and making gaming ready and accessible for everybody, anywhere. And that's why you've got the mobile options for Game Pass and console streaming. or on your PC or any device. Like that's their mandate. It's what I've been doing, and like bringing down walls for people to do it. And this was the last one. This free to play thing. Now, like games like Fortnite, Minecraft, Apex Legends, and more importantly, Halo Infinite, the multiplayer for that will be free to play. So now you've removed the last argument of, well, yeah, these games are free to play, but you still have to pay for Xbox Live to play them. So that argument's gone, right? That's the last one I can think of that people have been bitching about for the last 5 to 10 years with Xbox, of why Xbox sucks. That is the last one, besides the games. Like, yeah, the games have to start coming out, but they've got 20-something studios now all working on them. They're gonna come, right? But my argument is, this is all great. Cool. I'm not affected because I've had Xbox Live for the last 13 years. I've never been without it, So, cool. But I understand people out there aren't as fortunate as me. But why do we still need to pay for online play anyway? Because you've got all these other games that aren't free to play, but you still have to pay for it, technically, with Game Pass or Xbox Live Gold. PC, you don't have to. PlayStation, you do now. They never used to. On PS3 era, it was all free to play. You didn't have to pay to play online. So why is it just free to play games? So someone who might be able to tell me, who knows more than I do on this topic, you might be able to tell me why I can't go on and play Gears online without Xbox, or what other games do I actually play online? Destiny 2 is now considered a free-to-play game, so you don't need a subscription to play that online. But you know what I mean? Like Forza, if I wanted to jump online and race someone, I'd still need Xbox Live or Game Pass or something. But why though? Like, if they can just remove that option, is that going to happen later? Like, this is the conversation about slowly rolling out of Xbox Live Gold and making Game Pass the premier subscription for Xbox, and it just removes that one more bit of confusion out of the way. I think that's where they're going to go. It's going to be consolidating everything. And when you only have Game Pass as your option, like Netflix, you need an internet connection, yeah. But, you need Netflix to play the movies. So it's not like you have to pay for another Netflix subscription to play the movies online or anywhere else. Like, I'm just trying to get the gauge here of, like, if I have Game Pass, why do I need Xbox Live Gold to play online with all these other games that aren't free to play? I hope I'm making sense there. Like, why don't they just remove it all together, right? If you're just having Game Pass Ultimate, get rid of the online thing and let everybody play it, wherever they are. Pretty sure that's where it's going to happen. And if I'm talking out of my ass, please tell me. But yeah, I can't help but think this change was coming down the pipeline for a while. Some other responses that I saw online were people that are actually, they have their sources, they have their leaks, and but this came down not from the Xbox team. So this didn't come from Phil, this didn't come from like Aaron Greenberg or all that. This came from higher than them, of wanting to increase the price and getting rid of those models. So just be aware of that. And I thought it sounded a bit fishy. I don't think that's something that Phil Spencer would have done. I'm pretty sure that was the last thing he wanted to happen. And then it did. And thankfully, everybody spoke up and was like, hang on, no thanks, we don't want this. And Phil's been he's got his finger on the pulse for years now. And I guarantee you, he and Aaron Greenberg and all that took this feedback and went to them, those executives, and said, look at what you've done. We need to reverse this. This is going to fuck everything up. And then, within 12 hours, they reversed it and gave out that quote. So that was a good movement moment, for gamers in general. And it's only going to improve the landscape going forward from here. Like, Xbox is now legit one of the best places to play without any of those barriers in place now. So, the single mum down the road with an Xbox One or an Xbox One S and their kid just plays Fortnite and Minecraft, they no longer need to pay for Xbox Live Gold. That kind of, when you bring it down to brass tacks, that kind of aspect matters. People like me that I still have a job, I can pay for my Game Pass, and I've got the Series X. Like, I'm on the other spectrum of that, right? I can afford that. I'll pay it. So I'm not going to be affected too much because I've been paying for Live for the last 13 years and now Game Pass. But people that aren't as fortunate as me, and they've got kids who can now play Fortnite, Minecraft, Apex, and Halo Infinite comes out for free without paying for Xbox Live, that matters to a lot of people. And you're going to have more people more inclined to maybe pick up your console because you've removed another barrier. So this is huge. Like, yeah, the outrage was pretty fucked up, but warranted, I think, given the result that we got. So I don't know. There's a lot to it and a lot of repercussions and a ripple effect this might have. Tell me what you think. I know this was a long topic, but it was a big one. So I've only got 2 topics in this one, which is we're about to roll into the second one, which is the fluffy thing to end on. So I've been talking at length here, but I really wanted to talk at length about this one because this is a big change and a big moment. Let me know what you think. Like, does this affect you in any way, or would this, for some reason, I don't know, is this going to be like, yeah, now I want an Xbox because now I don't need to play. Now I don't need Xbox Live to play those free-to-play games like DC Universe Online. I still kind of dabble in that. And if I were to lose my job and everything went to shit, and I could somehow still manage to pay for my phone to a hotspot and my mobile data or an internet connection somewhere, I can still play that. You know, a lot that matters to a lot of people, man. So let me know what you think below. I'm done. I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Let's move on, right? Let's move on. Okay, so the next topic I want to talk about. Let's just relax a little bit. That got a bit crunchy. This is the first word that came to mind. Settle down. We want that serenity back. The serenity of the Chunt core. Lois, Superman and Lois. The new show that's coming out. Let's just look at the trailer first, shall we? And we'll give it a good look at, and we'll discuss once we've just, you know, got the tone out there and what you know that we're going to be looking at. I've got a few points that I want to touch on this, but this will be the first time I've actually had a good look at this trailer anyway, so I might have some other thoughts when we do it. So check this out.
When we were dreaming about having a family, it didn't look like this, did it? Lost jobs, teens with severe anxiety, parents gone too soon.
Why'd you move the family here? Still looking for the simple life? Because those days are gone, Clark. Long gone.
You got the weight of the world on your shoulders.
I really wish I could get drunk sometimes.
You're saying you're Superman?
Well, we've seen Superman before. We've seen him.
Am I a bad father?
We're gonna be all right. No one ever dreams about the problems, but every life has them. Even the extraordinary ones.
Superman and Lois, 2-hour premiere event Tuesday, February 23rd. Stream free next day, only on the CW app.
Only on the CW app. Right. We'll just let that run and repeat and loop while we discuss. So yeah, that's the new trailer. I posted online when that came out. I tweeted, I'm like, holy crap, that just grabbed me by the balls. It doesn't look like a low-budget CW show, man. Just saying. There's actual cinematography here, you know, and color grading, and there's a tone. It's not made. It doesn't look like it's made for TV. Dare I say, it's very Snyderverse-esque. Like, that looks like Man of Steel. And that looks like Justice League, the movie. Like, this looks very, it's taken itself, like they're actually making a modern take on Superman in the vein of the DCEU. That's what the feeling I get is. I could be totally wrong, like trailers can be deceptive, right? But this looks like it has some budget in it. I can't remember the cinematographer's name. God, he escapes me. I forgot to note it down, but he's done some notable stuff like Black Sails and what's the other show he did? Yeah, it escapes me at the moment. Anyway, he's on board doing this. So I know his shots. I've seen some of the stuff he's done. Yeah, it's legit, you know. Greg Berlanti, right? Those of you who don't know, he's been heading the CW verse for years, and he got a contract, like $500 million contract or something, with Warner Brothers to head their DC shows across the board for not only network TV but their HBO Max app that's coming out. So Green Lantern show and the Gotham show and all that stuff that's happening. He's the guy, right? So the reason why I think this looks as good as it does is I think not only has Disney Plus raised the bar, well, you look at their shows and now the Marvel stuff that's coming out, and Mandalorian and all that, it's raised the bar substantially for what you would expect for TV quality stuff. So they've had to up their game. They would have had to have responded in kind, and what better show to do it is a Superman show. Superman, he's an expensive character to do. So if you're going to do him on TV for something that you'd expect people that watch movies all day in high quality, like multi-million dollar productions, hundreds of millions of dollars, you'd have to make it look good. So Greg Berlanti, the TV guy, he's been in talks with Walter Hamada, who's the head of DC Films. Or should I say, Walter's been asking him for advice on how to tackle the DC Films realm, like the stuff that he's meant to be looking after. He's been on calls with Greg Berlanti going, yo, what do I do? I need some pointers here going forward. And I think this is a bit of synergy happening. If they're going to be doing the TV shows, it has to look cinematic. Between the HBO Max originals, like DC content, and the DC film stuff, to have some kind of synergy there is going to go a long way. I mean, you look at what Marvel does. Works for them. All their shit looks the same. Excuse me. Besides WandaVision. That's the most different thing that they've ever done. But I talked about that last week. This takes place in an odd spot to me. I'd like to see how this pans out. Because at the end of Crisis on Infinite Earths last year, which is the big CW crossover, Superman ends up going back to his own reality after, defeating the multiversal threat of the anti-modern and all that kind of stuff. He had a part in helping. Anyway, he goes back to his reality, just seemingly completely unaware that he's got kids, which are these two kids that come up to him, and these guys that come up to him and go, oh, we saw Superman. Did they even know that he's Superman? That's one of the questions that I've got from this. What does this mean? Like, what's his relationship like with these nearly full-grown kids that he just doesn't remember, at least at the end of that crossover? Another trailer that they teased a while back showed him in some kind of mirrorverse that was showing multiple realities, and he was trying to get out of it. So I think maybe that might have something to do with it. Like, once he busts out of it, he just becomes part of this reality again, and he's aware of whatever happens. But is he going to be a pushover in this series like he was in the Supergirl show? Because that's where this guy comes from, that Supergirl show. Tyler Hoechlin, I think his name is. February 23rd, we'll soon see. It's a 2-hour premiere, so movie length premiere. Will this production quality sustain throughout the rest of the show, or is it just going to be for the initial pilot kind of 2-hour special? I'm very keen to see, because I want more Henry Cavill. This guy didn't impress me in the CW Supergirl show. Didn't impress me at all. So I hope he can turn my opinion around. Because, I'd like to watch another Superman show. Hell, no, I didn't like Smallville. I didn't like that at all. But Lois and Clark still has a warm place in my heart. So if this is going to be a new, like, Lois and Clark, it's called Superman and Lois, for God's sakes. If this is going to be the new show, are we going to get like 4 seasons out of it as well? And this kind of tackles that question that's been Superman Returns introduced a kid for Superman. Now, Superman has a kid in the comics, Jonathan Kent. And now they're doing it with this show. And the Zack Snyder's 5-movie plan was meant to end with he and Lois having a baby called Bruce. Spoilers. But we're never going to see that. So, is this kind of them finally going, all right, let's make a show where Superman actually has kids. And let's see how that unfolds. And it worked pretty well in the comics. It was pretty good. I didn't mind that storyline with Jonathan Kent growing up, and alongside Damian Wayne, like, they became the Super Sons, as they called them. Will we see that? Will we see that in a CW or a HBO Max originals series? Lots of questions here, but I got all that just from that trailer. But what do you think? Like, does this look cool? It looks cool to me, man. It looks legit. Very like BVS color palette. I feel anyway. Like, a lot of the farm scenes, it just looks like similar shots I've seen from BVS with when Clark goes to the farm, or at the end where he and Batman are talking about, I bought the bank, and the color palette's the same, or at the funeral, that kind of stuff. Man of Steel, it's all that. It just looks like it's meant to be in that world. So Very, very keen to see how all that turns out. Anyway, that's it. That's the last thing I want to talk about. Pretty quiet week otherwise. I did have another couple topics on here to talk about, but I'm glad I didn't have to run through everything. Let's cut that off. Go back to me. Close that. Right. So there's no other sounds? No? Cool. Still learning my way around this new setup that I've created for myself. Anywho, yeah, hopefully enjoyed it. I know it's been really kind of off the cuff. Like last week, I did plan a show, and then all this shit happened, and it just kind of threw my plan out that I already had in mind. So apologies if I jumped around the shop a bit, but that's what happens. I like to keep it fresh, and I like to keep it off the cuff and real as much as possible. But yes, I'm going to go chill out now and get back to that serenity aspect. So yeah, if you like what you see, if you're keen on the show and following it every week, every Sunday, this was episode 26, I think I mentioned at the top. So see what happens in the week to come, see what else is worthy to talk about. If it is, I'll bring it on here. I didn't upload. I've got a soundbite. I made a soundbite for this outro, the little what do you call it? What's the thing? I can't remember the name for it. Anyway, I'm rambling now. The outro phrase thing that I can't remember what it's called. Hang on. If you're still there, I'm just gonna find it and play it, because who gives a fuck, right? And if you've got kids around, I apologize. I don't really care too much. Here we are. Outro. Hee hee.
And may the power protect you.
Till all are one. Bumblebee tuna.
And may the power protect you.
Till all are one. Bumblebee tuna.
Bumblebee tuna, indeed, and toodalose. Yeah, that was really worth it.
Like, comment, subscribe.